So I asked an AI to take this picture and the next picture to transform it for me, and this is what happened. But before we begin, if you like this figure in this video, head over to Show.Z Store where I got it from, and use code Deemer in the Support Your Favorite Reviewer box. It sure would help me out, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Deemer's Dominion. As always, I am Deemer. And today we are going to continue our recent saga of combiners. What's that, you say? But that's Ultra Magnus. Well, arguably, he could be the actual first combiner. What does that mean? Well, traditionally speaking, the toys of Ultra Magnus have been two separate parts that actually combine. And today we are looking at the Iron Factory IF-EX44 Ultra Magnus, which was issued out in 2021. Still in his box, ladies and gentlemen. Haven't opened him since I got him. And if you've been following my channel, you will understand that all of these Transformers, for the majority of them, have been sitting in boxes for a long time. And I have recently just been on a journey of going through the storage, getting my Transformers, and doing what I'm doing currently. Sharing my love, my passion for this hobby. So this is the box. Some pretty cool artwork, as you can see. Definitely love what's going on. Pretty neat render. Those are just some pictures. And in this picture, we have 2025. 4 years, 5 years almost till this came out. Pretty neat. IF-EX44FG and IF-EX44. So I am excited. I'm very excited, actually. I love Ultra Magnus as a character. I love Ultra Magnus as a cartoon. I love him as a toy. So, any other Ultra Magnus fans out there? Anyone else excited? Because we're going to get into it and we're going to have some fun. All right, so first, as always, we are going to start with the unboxing and go from there. We are going to start with the big guy himself. And we'll take a look at his freeze-dried prison here, and you will see that we have Ultra Magnus. We also have instructions. And as we free him, we will see. Okay, here we go. This little guy. Pretty light, but pretty solid at the same time. Nice paint. Nice rolling wheels. Put him to the side for the moment. Oh, here's our big guy. Here is our beautiful big guy. He feels great in the hand. I love this older style chunk kind of vibe that he gives. Love the aesthetics that we got. The IDW aesthetic here. Really love it. I love all the details here. The paintwork is great. As you can see, get things in focus here for you so you can check things out. Up close and personal. Okay. And there's a close-up here of his face. Nice details. Nice paint. Applications. Great plastic. Nice solid plastic. And the BFG. Look at that. Beautifully detailed, beautifully rendered here. There we go. Very cool. Love this metallic blue. Love this translucent blue here as well. The instructions. Our City Commander. Final battle armor. So black, white, and red. Instructions to show off the movement. Very typical, nice line art. So we have vehicle mode, cannon vehicle, rocket hammer, vehicle mode, robot mode, and those are the multi-functions of our dear Ultra Magnus here. So I'm pretty excited to kick things off. And we'll go through Ultra Magnus first before we get to this guy. All right, so what shall we do? What shall we do? Let us take a look at articulation. Start with the head. He is looking like he's on a ball joint there. Up and down, left and right, spinny, twisty, all the way around. He's got some nice light piping in the back of the head. That is cool. That's cool. Let's see about the eyes back there, if we can catch that. So there you catch the eyes. That face, really nice looking head there. Really nice looking face. Okay, and the arms and shoulders twist 360. They go up that high. And we have elbow and articulated thumb and fingers. They are each independently articulated here. A little bit tight, but they're there. Oh yeah, they're definitely a little bit tight. But they are each on their own ball joint, which is cool. There we go. Okay, very neat there. Our missile launcher here articulates as well. Excellent there. We do have butterfly at the shoulders from transformation and from design. So that's really cool. Okay, we do have a complete waist swivel and ab crunch. And as far as we do have a thigh swivel, double knee bend that goes that. Nice. Very nice. You can kick out that far. And it is hindered by the skirt. Nice ratchet joint, kick up that high. That's a very tight ratchet, so be careful. And these back skirts don't move, so he can only go back that far, but that is great as well. Okay, and we have nice ankle rocker and up and down the toe. So he is very well articulated, a little bit tight in some joints, and obviously these weapons can spin around as they just peg in, so you can have them facing any which way you like, but they just peg in and out. Right there on the shoulder. Who doesn't love a well-armored Ultra Magnus at the end of the day? And you bring these down. Oh, that's looking badass. That's looking badass. And then if we want to put his weapon in his hand, just peg it in right there. Okay, so we've got his weapon on him while his hand holds it. There we go. Look how sturdy that is. Nice and sturdy. I love these like knuckle busters here that will lock in also to keep the fingers locked in there. You can see they move. So that's a pretty cool little gimmick. And look at him. Look at him armored up, ready to go, ready to battle. Okay, so let's take a quick look at Minimus Ambus, who is an IDW, the partner of, well, this is supposed to be the inner body of Ultra Magnus. That is how he looks. So this guy is really for such a small figure. Impressive. We have head up and down, all the way, side to side. It's on a ball joint, which is good. These are all nice and tight. His arm is very articulate, as you can see, all the way around, up, down. He has a nice elbow swivel. He has no wrist swivel, but that's okay. He's got a great elbow bend, as you can see, and a beautiful waist swivel. The legs, really good articulation. As you can see how high he bends. Look at all this beautiful double joint there for the knee. Great articulation at the thigh, at the hips. And the feet are on a ball and hinge joint, so you get complete movement and flexibility. Very, very cool, very well done. Really good feel to him too. There's really no complaints for such a tiny figure. My goodness, can he wiggle and jiggle and do anything you really want him to do. As far as posing and bending and twisting, this guy's insane as far as posability goes. Iron Factory did him good, did him real good. That's amazing. And then the other part is, this part of the gun clips off from Ultra Magnus, from that gun, and snaps onto his arm. It's got a little port here for the gun. Look at that. He's got a Gatling gun for a weapon for a character his size, a figure his size. That is super cool. Super cool. Super cool. And you can put it on either arm. There's ports for both. Very neat little dude over here. I love his colors. Great. I love this metallic sheen blue right here that they gave him. Very neat coloration. Great attention to detail for a tiny figure. Really pops really, really well. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Look at that light piping there. That is wicked cool. Wicked cool. How awesome is that light piping? I'm so impressed. Minimus Ambus has one too. Very, very awesome light piping. Very awesome light piping. This is really impressive, this set here. I've always liked Iron Factory, but this guy, beast. Let us take a look at his weapons. Weapons, we have really good weapon choices here. And the nice thing about this is this actually pops out in and out. You can actually, it's a little tight, but you can swivel it in and out on this hinge. Pretty neat feature there. So not only does it swivel around however you want to position it, but you can take it in and out as well. So that's really, really neat. Gimmick there. Obviously we have his pylons. These side armaments as well. The missile launchers. I mean, this guy is ready to rumble. And then I believe, yep. Let me kind of get those out. He's got missiles for the arms as well. Look at that. He's got them on both hands. I mean, this guy is just loaded to the max. Of course, he's got his missiles on his hip skirts. And these ports look like they could take blast effects. I don't have any with me to show and test, but love the translucent plastic on the side here. I mean, we've got details even here to have right there. Okay. What else do we have? I mean, we've got all kinds of little details everywhere. Just such great attention to detail, such great coloring. I mean, I am fascinated by how amazing this figure really is. They have done an amazing job from posability, from aesthetics. I love the chunk. I love the chunk. I love the chunk. I love me a chunky bot. I love me a chunky bot. I mean, he's city commander and he looks the part. Very, very faithful to IDW. So we're going to take a look at his weapons here. So this turns into what's called a rocket hammer, according to the instructions. So we want to turn this in. So from rifle mode to that comes out like that. I love this translucent plastic, which can light pipe as well. We're going to take off his shoulder cannons here. So now that we took off his shoulder cannons, we pulled this piece up, and then this piece rocks in like that, and then these tab in on either side like that. Of course, you still have the articulation here as well, and then this all tabs into his arm, and there we have him armored up this way too. Oh man, that's freaking beautiful. That is so freaking beautiful. Just awesome. And these pylons also, I believe, rock in and out, yep, side to side like that. So that's pretty neat there too. This guy's ready to battle. He's not messing around. He is not messing around at all. And here we have him armed with his hammer cannon. And now we are going to combine Minimus Ambus with Ultra Magnus. To make it easy, we're just going to take this weapon out of his hands. There's that cannon in case you guys haven't gotten a great look at it. Very nice looking weapon. I love that there's a scope here. And it is also light passable through there. And obviously here we have on the side there as well. Very cool. All right, so we'll set that aside for a second. And then we are just going to separate his arms here for a moment and drop this cab. Okay, and we just gotta separate our head here like that, and then those two pegs, these two holes, and we should peg him in. Easier said than done, especially on camera. All right, I'll take it off camera and just peg him in those holes. Be right back. Okay, so I've got him pegged in as the instructions, and I just flip the tab over, and then we just gotta squeeze him back in there. We gotta bring him in. We gotta make sure that there's enough clearance. I'm gonna squeeze him back in off camera and be right back. Okay, and here he is inside as best as I could align things up. It is a very tight fit. It's not going to be perfect for me, but that's as best as I can get him for now. So there he is in his combined form, at least, so that we can say we have a combiner. And my argument rests. Ultra Magnus, the first combiner. Okay, so I am going to get him into his alt modes and be right back. And here he is transformed into his truck mode. And this is very, very cool design for the IDW Ultra Magnus. Again, I do love the blockiness, the chunk of the IDW designs in general. Iron Factory really does a good job of the faithfulness to those designs. The quality for such a great Legends figure. This is really, really solid. Really, really feels just awesome in hand. It really does. A really cool thing is these tires are actually rubber, not plastic. Again, here we have beautiful paint all around for that front end, just gorgeous. We've got the light piping red here as well. It's just great. It's just great. And this is just the basic truck mode design here. There's also the armored mode, or what they call, I think, the cannon mode. And that is basically taking apart our hammer here and putting this on him. Okay, so on these, there's 2 tabs here, and there are 2 slots on either side, and you peg them in like that, and they still have the nice flexibility here. Very, very cool. Now it only opens in and out, it doesn't have the rotation. And so we can go ahead and do the same thing here. Such beautiful coloring, and go ahead and do that. So here we have the armored vehicle mode. Very neat. Okay, so you do have to separate this pistol from the gun, and there are these pegs here, and they will go into these slots here, these holes here on either side, and then you just squeeze them back shut. There we have him in his armored cannon mode, and the cool thing in this mode is he still has the ability to use that cannon up and down. And while we're at it, we're going to put Minimus Ambus back into his car mode, and then you can just put this pistol that locks in between his legs like that there. And now Minimus Ambus is also armored up like that. Ultra Magnus doesn't have any problems rolling. He actually rolls really, really well. Minimus Ambus does have plastic pinned wheels, but he does roll really well too. I'm going to give you a bit of an idea of what he measures out in his alt mode there. And Minimus Ambus, only a couple inches. Okay, and then you can see the height. There you go. And that is for his alt modes. But his schemes fall flat. Star scream whining, man, they all can't rap. We keep it moving, no, in a gun drought. Battle tested bars, yeah, we're knocking them out. And while we also have him in his alt mode, let's compare him to some other figures here. Now this is an MP scaled Bumblebee, the OG here. And as you can see, Bumblebee is quite large in comparison. And these are, of course, Legend scale. And here is another MP. So Sunstreaker is almost the same size and length, basically. Love this guy. Love this guy. And here he is with my titanium Ultra Magnus. That's pretty neat. They line up pretty well here. Plated fate, got the matrix in my chest. Freedom's the battle, and we only take the best. Ultra Magnus on the bass, thumping like a tank. Blaster, rockapella, making Megatron crank. So they're pretty neat in comparison as far as size goes. And as you can see, they are almost the same length, the same height relatively. I mean, Iron Factory's just slightly taller here. The cab on the titanium is wider here, but not much too different from the size perspective. Obviously, the quality perspective we're not even going to get into and talk about. This is a really old figure comparative to this one. Obviously, this is predominantly metal. This is predominantly all plastic for the most part. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that as far as those two are compared. And here he is with Magic Square's Legend Scale Red Alert. And that is much more appropriate as far as scale goes. That goes really, really well. I think that is excellent scale. In fact, doesn't get much better than that. Those two look amazing together. And what's cool is mixing and matching companies with the same scales. That makes sense. I'm all down for that. Whatever works. I mean, Red Alert being the Lamborghini is really cool on its own. Just really fun stuff. The playability here is really cool. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. What about some New Age jazz? I think that scales well as well. Let's put them together. New Age, Magic Square, Iron Factory. Those look great. What do you guys think? Pretty neat scale? I think that works. That's fun. I mean, obviously, differences in the ideology of approach here. Obviously, this is IDW, completely different kind of design, but the scale looks really, really well. Okay, so here we have different scales, and these look pretty good. We've got Iron Factory IF EX44, City Commander Final Form Ultra Magnus, Titanium, Takara Tomy, Hasbro, and we've got the MP31 Delta Magnus here. Fully loaded up and beautiful. Still one of my favorite molds as far as Ultra Magnus's Ultra Magni go. And just to show you a bit of scale here, a bit of fun, how awesome the different kind of company iterations from the different series are. And they are weaponized to the extent that they can be weaponized. And again, we have Magic Square, we have New Age, Iron Factory, Takara Tomy Hasbro, and Takara Tomy Hasbro MP31. I just thought it'd be fun to show you the different scales. And of course, we've got Masterpiece, Sunstreaker, and Bumblebee in the very back there as well. All right, cool. So let us continue then. Also, I just wanted to point out one thing, that also we have Minimus Ambus stored in here. And it's not the easiest thing to do, but obviously you have to move this out of the way, plop this open, move it out of the way, and then just finagle him in there as best as you can. And weapon and all, he's in there. He's in there. And then you can just tuck it away like that. Food for thought for those of you that may not know. Let's carry on. Okay, very quick side note. I just discovered as I was transforming him back into bot mode, this dude has a side-to-side rocker. Not part of the transformation. How awesome is that little gimmick? I mean, this might be one of the best Ultra Magnuses out there as far as articulation goes, in terms obviously of IDW, the gimmicks included. I mean, this guy just, his marks just keep going up and up in my book. I'm having so much fun with this guy. Truly, truly, truly. Okay, so here they are back in bot mode, armored up, and we've got some size comparisons for scale. Again, we have Magic Square's Red Alert, we have New Age Jazz, we have Minimus Ambus, we have my little desk alien here, which I love. That again is the Iron Factory IFEX44 City Commander. And then here is our Titanium Ultra Magnus and MP31 Delta Magnus, which is the same mold as the MP Ultra Magnus. So there we have some scale. Now, not only did I just want to show you the scale, but this also sets up our second part here, where we bring in the City Commander, which is the other version of Ultra Magnus in his smaller form. So we're going to actually open him up, and we are going to see how he combines with Ultra Magnus. Okay, so in the box, this is what we have. We have the tool. We do have to unscrew apart, his head area here, his back cabin head. That's why they give us a screw. They do give us some extra hands included in this, so that's nice. The instructions. And when we take him out of his plastic prison, we have the weapon, the new version of Minimus Ambus Ultra Magnus, the new head sculpt, and then what they call the dummy piece if you don't want to put him inside there. So this is the new head sculpt here. And we do also have the light piping included as well. Here we have the newer version. And just so you know, they waited until 2025 to release this, whereas this figure in its totality was released in 2021. So here we have our little guy, also nicely sculpted. Oh, his hand came out really easily there. Okay, well, at least this hand actually rotates around and has a little bit of wiggle action as well. So that is the positive there. We do have a 360. We do have elbow bend. And then extend that out and goes up that high. It's on a ball joint. So that's nice. We do have 360 at the waist. Oh, and an awesome bend over there. 360s are no problem. Upper thigh. Double knee joint bend. This is amazingly articulated. We also have at the knee, and we have a ball joint here that can do pretty much everything, including the rocker. Okay, so another super well articulated mini bot here. Oh, this hand is a little bit loose at the joint there. Not a whole big issue. And then the head is also on a ball joint. And he can articulate really well. Just can't do a side to side too well. But can go up and down really well. Look at that. Very nice. I also want to show you his gun. It does look more like the traditional blaster that Optimus Prime would have. Just compare the two figures here. Let's start out with their weapons. The original one, which is really cool, by the way, and I love that it connects. And here is the blaster that comes with the new figure. So stark difference. Gatling gun versus ion blaster, basically. And aside from colors as the obvious, if you want the articulation, you can go back and look at the earlier part of this video, but he is very well articulated as well. I'm so happy with his articulation, honestly. Like, this is a really cool figure just on its own. Even though he's being replaced, not a problem. I like him on his own. I might create a new character story for him because he is so cool. I do really like him. Extremely posable, so he's a keeper. So the whole reason that they released this new one, basically, is to make him more accurate to the IDW, and he is pretty faithful. There's a start. He's probably twice as heavy, at least. This one, he's probably at least twice as heavy as the original figure. He is obviously taller as well. Look at that difference there. Very notable difference. Very notable difference. So, let's note this other difference between the head sculpts. The antenna look a little different, slightly taller. This head seems a little bit more clean as far as the details go. Let us get through the basics. I'm going to transform him first and be right back. Okay, so now we have the new bot transformed into his alt mode, and pretty chunky, pretty Cybertronian looking alt mode, which is nice. You know, not exactly the most problem-free situation here. I mean, these tabs have very specific tolerances, and you have to choose your battles of which tabs you really want. And it's going to be what it's going to be. The Downside is depending on which battles you choose, not all wheels are going to touch the ground, although these wheels do roll beautifully. When this top part, so this is basically both main pieces of what was in the box. The unit for Ultra Magnus's head piece, as well as the Minimus Ambus piece as well. The Minimus Ambus is just that original part. Down here, this you can see the bot mode there, and then the Ultra Magnus head part actually just collapses into this. This is where the head is underneath here. It collapses into this unit with this little cover. It's a pretty neat way of handling everything to make sure that you pretty much use the main pieces, which is a very cool solution. And as you see, these tabs really just want to fight, but that's okay. At the end of the day, this is in lieu of the cab of Ultra Magnus. And what I'll do is I'll put him back into his truck mode, and you can see how that is going to be in lieu of his cab. Now to do that, we do actually have to unscrew his head part here and take his weapon out. Oh, one more thing. The hands on the new Minimus Ambus really just keep popping off. They popped off several times during this transformation. And it wasn't the transformation per se, but it's when you try to fold in the arms, this is the arm right here, and tuck in the hand behind it, it just keeps popping off. To the point where I just got frustrated and just left the hands off altogether. Okay, so back to what we're talking about here, which is when we take off the back unit here. So this part is going to be replaced. This part here is going to be replaced, and we have to unscrew in here. You can see there's a screw there. We have to unscrew it to remove this whole unit, and I will do that off camera and then come back. And as you can see, I've removed the cab mode from that screw that was located right here. And this is what he looks like without it. And that was just screwed in there. And it does take a little bit of force when you wiggle it out. Just be careful so you don't break anything, even though this is really good plastic, just use caution. Okay, so just wanted to show you guys also when he is transformed with the updated Ultra Magnus inside. He is a little bit finicky at first when you get him into this part to get it all tabbed in properly. It was a little bit of difficulty with these tabs aligning and then getting him in, but then once he snaps in, he is very solid. So this is the new head that comes with it. Obviously you got all the articulation you need here on this big ball joint, which is great, and the light piping that comes through as well is awesome. So he is a very solid figure. I do love a lot of things about him. There are the drawbacks of the tabbing issues, but once you get everything tabbed in, at least in the bot mode, everything works out great. It was the alt mode for the new figure that I had issues with as far as tabbing goes. Okay, so as you can see, I still have Minimus Ambus here. And the other cool thing is that the new figure's ion cannon will also still clip in to the original cannon, so that when you arm him up, it still plays the same gimmick. So that is pretty thoughtful. That's great. I do like that addition there too. So there he is, armed up with the ion cannon also attached here. You see Minimus Ambus there, little alien, and his original cab here, so that you see that everything is put in, everything works well together. As much as I love the new Ultra Magnus figure, the Minimus Ambus for 2025, I do get frustrated with the joints popping out for the hands, the feet. You know, those are all small ball joints, and they do pop out a lot when you transform him. He doesn't pop out when he's being posed at all, which is good, but it's just during the transformations because they're so tight that they just force themselves off very easily. With that nitpick aside, everything else is great. I do love the aesthetic of the new City Commander figure more than Minimus Ambus as far as the actual aesthetic goes. But look at him, he's great, he feels great, he looks great. So you get a rough estimate of what his size is. There's that for y'all. And if anyone is interested in his weight, I can go ahead and do that real quick for you. Get our trusty scale out here. And he is a healthy 10 ounces. 10 ounces. He feels heavier than that. That's probably from all the chonk badonk-a-donk. That badonk chonk.
Call me the rhyme savior, matrix of leadership, my voice cuts like a razor, rolling through Cybertron, my team stays tight.
There is the group, there is the comparisons there, and if there's anything in these two figures that you have questions on, that you're curious about, something I didn't go over that you would have liked to have seen, please let me know. I'll be happy to address them, and let's continue. Okay, so here he is back in his Cybertronian truck mode, IDW mode, and as you can see, this is basically just a hitch at this point as opposed to a more connected cab, so they are independent of one another more fully than the original mode. Basically this just detaches like that, whereas with the previous cab mode you can't just unlatch it like that. It actually has to be screwed into that same port there. This is actually a screw. There's a screw port here. I mean, technically you probably could just rest it in there, but I mean the cab mode itself would be looking pretty janky. So it has to be up close. Okay, so I thought I'd show you how this differentiates between that. This is the entirety of that cab mode. As you can see, you really cannot independently just attach it like you could with the other mode. It is just all kinds of weird. If you try to do it, it's just not going to work. It won't even sit in the slot properly. Yeah, it won't go in. So you would have to take things apart again to make it look nice and actually function at all. So that is that as far as that goes. The other thing is really is if you wanted that maximum playability, you can just leave the screw out from this and then interchange them anytime you want to and have maximum playability and versatility. You just wouldn't, well actually you could. There you have those two modes there. Okay, so we've seen the bot modes, we've seen the truck modes, we've seen the new version versus the older version, we've seen the scales, we've seen it all at this point. Overall, what do I think? I think I like this mode personally. I like the OG mode. I know it's not 100% faithful, but I do love the look of this compared to more like, what do we have, like the lunar mode kind of thing, the sound wave thing, the, what else we have, like Ratchet and stuff like that kind of thing. So it really is what you want, what you like. I don't mind it personally. I do, as I was thinking out loud, I do like the option of maybe just leaving the screw part out and let me choose what I want a little easier instead of having to screw and unscrew and then wear down the screw port on the figure itself. So that is the option if you do like those both figures. I do like the accuracy of the bot mode much better on the newer figure. He does look a lot better from that element. In any case, I'm going to keep them both and play my heart's content. There is Minimus Ambus again. So, other thoughts, other feelings. I really like this guy. I really love the playability of this guy. I'm not gonna lie. There's just something really fun about him. There's just something really, really fun about him that I really have enjoyed as I've been going through this. Overall, I do like the figure. I'm a huge, huge Magnus fan to begin with. I love Iron Factory's IDW designs and chunk and feel overall. I do have a tabbing issue with this newer figure in the alt mode like we talked about, and it's only when you put both parts together, right? The body, like the head part from the fully transformed Magnus and the car mode with that. I also love the weapons, especially this big weapon, the versatility of the cannon weapon and that hammer cannon that it can form. I love the gimmicks where these can maneuver and fold in and out and rotate. I love all the extra cannons on his body. There's just so much to like. There's just so much to like. And if you got him for the original price back in whenever, what was it, like 70, 80 bucks, I think it's a fair value. I think it's a decent value. The quality is great. Tabbing issues aside with the newer figure, I would say if you are into this style, if you are into IDW, if you are into the legend scale, I would say go for it. I would say you'd have a lot of fun. And he is super posable, which I love. I forgot to mention that. He is super, super, super posable. Really great on Iron Factory for allowing that in this figure, especially how big and chunky he is for a Legends figure. That is, I think, overall, again, like this guy is super posable. You know, Minimus Ambus is super, super posable. They've done a really good job overall. The paint's great. You know, the plastic quality is great. The feel is great. Super posable. I really don't have many complaints, honestly, as far as Transformers go, as far as figures go. I think that's pretty much it. But if you guys have any questions, if you have any thoughts, maybe you guys have him and hate him, maybe you guys have him and love him, maybe you guys have just the original one and are thinking about this one, you know, this is really your call. Do you need him? No. If you want the accuracy, of course, go for it. I do love, again, his bot modes more than anything, and I don't think he adds any value to the overall combined mode. And that's really all I have to say, I think, at this point. Things can change in the future, but once again, I am Deemer. Thanks for watching. Thanks for giving me your time. Thanks for your support. I really appreciate it. I can't believe how fast that we've been growing. And I am eternally grateful to all that hang out and spend their time and watch and like and subscribe and share and all that good stuff that the algorithms care about. And I am peacing out.